Hello, Conrad here. I am your NRPP Regional Liaison. NRPP, you may recall, stands for Natural Resource Permitting Project. At a recent meeting pertaining thereto, participants were asked to come up with a metaphor representing the progress on the initiative to date. Being the one-trick pony that I am, the integration of labor that the NRPP aspires to be immediately brought to my mind the honeybee colony, which progresses from a state of only roughly organized activities to one of highly coordinated and integrated processes. Most folks are at least minimally familiar with the concept of entropy. That is, processes tend to go from a state of orderliness to disorderedness. It's arguable whether there was ever an order out of which to descend, but it is pretty obvious that the proliferation of unconnected databases currently being used across natural resource sectors of government has resulted in a tangle of divergent systems that the NRPP hopes to transform into a broadly integrated information portal. A quick referencing of an online thesaurus pulled up the term ektropy, which describes those phenomena that oppose the trend of entropy and pull order out of chaos. So, in an attempt at alliteration, I'm going to call this presentation the NRPP Ektropy and Bees, as I hope to refer to the metaphor of the honeybee colony to stand in for technical aspects of the NRPP access portal which might otherwise be difficult, at least for me, to visualize. Okay, the NRPP will provide a raft of interactive information management tools, but I don't think it's unfair to characterize these as an integrated database system. These systems are promised to be robust, secure, efficient, and above all, informative, leading to data tools that are better, easier, and trustier than our current hodgepodge. I believe that the system architecture will derive its strength from Oracle Web Services that use XML-based languages and simple object access protocols to develop representational state transfers. But since I don't know what any of that means, I'm going to fall back to my metaphor and tell you a little bit about the architecture of the honeybee nest. In 1946, a fellow named Whitcomb found that bees need to consume the equivalent of about 8.4 kilograms of honey to produce the nearly 1 million wax scales that make up 1 kilogram of wax. This is Whitcomb indeed, as mathematical analysis shows that the hexagonal shape of the individual cells in comb allow for the greatest number of cells per unit area. The strength of the vertical back-to-back array of 6-sided cells is such that 40 grams of wax can contain about 1.8 kilograms of honey or brood. Everybody knows that bees use their stings to secure their juicy larvae and the sweet stores with which they feed their young, but what is less well known is that honeybees incorporate security measures right into their architecture by collecting plant resins which have antibiotic properties that protect plant wounds from infection. Bees co-opt these antibiotics when they varnish the material onto their combs, where it is called propolis, meaning before the city, as the sticky barrier serves much like the protective gates of a fortified citadel. Alright, I've talked about how the honeybee architecture is robust, secure, and efficient, but it is also involved in the bee's information transfer system. Comb transmits the vibrations of bees dancing the location of abundant food resources. The better the source, the more excited the motion. Comb also holds some of the floral scents carried into the nest by foragers and helps recruits to identify the source. In addition, bees share the contents of their honey stomachs, which transmits chemical cues about nectar they have collected, as well as pheromones that assist in regulating activities in the hive. The dancing and spit transferring of the bees is quite sophisticated. Of course, when IT personnel want to transfer complex information, they do so in exactly the same way. At least I think that's what they're doing. Honeybees exhibit a division of labor that is mediated by genetic propensity and age-related development of various physical structures, particularly glands. As organs come online, bees will move from one age cohort to another. For instance, immediately upon emerging as an adult from the cell where it has passed through its egg, larval, and pupal phases, young bees will start to clean cells around them. Wouldn't it be great if human children exhibited similar behavior? Within a few days, glands in the head of the bee begin producing nutritional secretions that are fed to young brood and the queen, much in the same way that mammals provide milk to their infants. Soon thereafter, glands on the underside of the abdomen of worker bees will begin to secrete a liquid that dries on contact with air. These are the wax scales that bees then chew and manipulate to form into comb. As the worker's wing muscles grow stronger and scent glands on the upper side of the abdomen develop, the bees will undertake fanning to evaporate moisture from nectar as part of the curing process which produces honey, or to assist in orienting returning foragers to the nest entrance. After a week or so, the worker's sting and venom glands have matured enough that the bees can take on guard duty at the nest entrance. Finally, the workers will begin fledging and leaving the nest to collect nectar and pollen. The sweet stores of the honeybee colony are the result of coordinated activity that has been programmed by millions of years of evolutionary adaptation and supports the real work of the insects, which is to perpetuate their genes through reproduction. Luckily, the overhaul of provincial information stores that support the regulation of economic activities that impact the environment will take less time than that. In much the same way that worker cohorts conduct different activities as various endocrine systems come online, the NRPP Access Portal will use a phased approach to implementation/onboarding. Data from existing databases and any specific tools to manipulate that data will be incorporated into the portal over the next couple of years, based upon the urgency of addressing workloads in certain sectors and/or upon the adequacy of existing information management systems. For instance, by the fall of 2015, proponents will have the initial ability to access information about natural resource activities and authorizations through a single landing page. My own work in dealing with environmental protection waste discharge activities is scheduled to be rolled into the system in the 2019-2020 fiscal year. If you are interested in a more detailed schedule, you can contact your local NRPP liaison. I'm not sure that they've officially christened the Access Portal yet, but I'm going to hereby advocate for the British Columbia Online Library of Networked Integrated Electronic Systems, which would of course be abbreviated as, wait for it, bee colonies. Can I strain a metaphor or what? Let me end by paraphrasing the opening scene of Act 2 of Shakespeare's As You Like It. Sweet are the uses of the NRPP, which, like the bee, trustian malevolent, yes, swears that its precious URL is just ahead. Thank you very much. Bye.